I'm at the Port Myakka Lock and Dam on Lake Okeechobee, and when water levels in the big lake get too high, those gates open and all that water comes rushing toward our coastal communities. So this is as good a place as any to begin a discussion about issues and solutions.
Now, we could go all the way around through here.
John Campbell is a guide on Lake Okeechobee and says he has fished these waters for more than half a century.
We are having some of the best fishing we have had in many, many years.
Restoration of the Kissimmee River that feeds the big lake has Campbell often seen a different view than the algae-filled one in the nightmares of Treasure Coast residents.
The press right now is solely directed at Lake Okeechobee producing this situation. In my humble opinion, I just think it's more to it than that.
It's part of our system. It contributes to
Tara Barty says he's right. She's the senior scientist for the Arthur Marshall Foundation for the Everglades. Make no mistake, she thinks the huge outflows from Lake Okeechobee are part of the problem, but only part.
The outflows dumping the blue-green or the cyanobacteria into the two estuaries is definitely fed by the legacy phosphorus, the legacy nutrients that are in the lake. So whether they came from the Kissimmee Basin in the north or were back pumped in from the south, the lake itself is definitely contributing.
Urban, neighborhood, and farm runoff, all of that is feeding the algae bloom too, she believes.
We're all going to have to participate in managing our own surface water runoff, properly maintaining septic tanks, managing fertilizer, best management practices on the farms.
Water flows into the lake from the Kissimmee River Basin to the north. That water once flowed out of the lake south into the Everglades before man built canals and floodgates to tame it. Big Sugar and other agricultural interests have said no to efforts to buy land needed to restore the natural water flow. Add in the aging dike around the lake that the Army Corps worries could spring a catastrophic leak if the lake level is too high, and it means a lot of water is being sent east and west during rainy season.
We need to shore up the dike and get that done. We need to buy the land, we need to build the reservoir, and then we need to build the stormwater treatment areas.
But even if the political will, money, and land all came together, it would not end the competing interest at the heart of the balancing act in this huge water system.
If you have the water too high, you have no fisheries. You have nowhere for the fish to live, nowhere for the fish to lay their eggs, nowhere for the wading birds.
John Campbell is no scientist, but he figures he knows nature around here pretty well. Send the water south, he says.
I think pushing to the south is the way nature created this lake. And I think that when man has injected his theory behind it, sometimes it's not always right. I don't think God makes mistakes when he makes a river system.
Fixing human mistakes is the ongoing challenge now, and one in which all of us have a stake in the course being charted for the future. A little later in the broadcast, we're going to focus much more closely on the dike surrounding Lake Okeechobee and its role in all of the issues we're discussing.